an all-new episode of Hanging with the Dreamer every Monday at 12 noon. Available wherever you stream. Hey everybody, it's your old buddy the Dreamer. How's it going? How you doing? Hey, before I bring my guests out from the awesome band Roses Unread, I have John and I have Allison here. Well, they're waiting so kindly in the green room just for a couple announcements. I just want to say that if you would like to support the Dreamers, support the Dreamers Live, and support Hanging with the Dreamer, my 2 production links are down the description box below. One's my PayPal. If you would like to donate through PayPal, please do it under the friends and family option. That would be an incredible help. And if you would like to be signed up as my Patreon, hey, the Dreamer's Life is now on Patreon for as little as $5 a month. For as little as a cup of coffee, you will get your name in the show. You will get your name a big shout out during the broadcast. And you will get your name in the end credits for as little as $5 a month. So check it out, Dreamers. Also, if you take a look on my YouTube channel on the Dreamers Life, you will see the shows that I have, the interviews I have coming up that go all the way into October. More on that later. But today, Dreamers, I would like to introduce John and Allison from Roses Unread.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to Dreamland Studios. I am the Dreamer.
Thanks for having
How is everybody?
We're doing pretty
Doing good.
good.
It's the weekend.
Yeah.
Praise.
We are we're in the I'd say we're in the middle. We're kind of nearing the end of our recording process right now. This is our studio where most of the songs get written, at least the demos of the songs get written, and then we have a studio that we go to in Memphis that we finish them up at, and we just recorded song 8 from our new album. As Fireflies is our latest single. That's song number 3. We've got the first 3 that have been released already. So, yeah, we're kind of in the middle of doing all of that, and I don't just it's if anybody's listening that's been through a long creative process, you kind of know what I mean. It's like even when you get to the end of or nearing the end of actually creating the thing, there's still a lot more work to do once it gets that part of it gets done.
Then the real hard work comes in.
Yeah.
It's like you just think writing it's hard when you have to, dealing with technology as we talked about earlier, and you have to do your promotions and merch, that's when it kind of gets a little hectic.
Yeah.
That's me for, getting artwork, photos, like all that stuff. Like it gets to be a lot. But it's fun work. It's just a lot sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, creation it's a journey. It's
definitely.
It's that little step, one step at a time type thing. It's from what you're thinking to what's in your heart, trying to figure out how to get that stuff out.
Right.
Yeah, and that kind of goes along with what we were talking about before we before the show started,
Mm.
dealing with the creative gap
Mhm.
and trying to visualize what you want the song or the art to be without bastardizing it too much, I guess. And it never there's always going to be variation between what actually comes out and
Mm.
what you originally
Yeah.
envisioned. Lucky for us though, we've got two other guys in the band, Jed and Rocky. They're not here right now. But and then we have a producer, Dave Cal, who's based out of Memphis, who's been like a fifth member of the band for years
Mm.
now.
Yeah.
And he kind of gets what we're going for. And he's one of these producers, like he knows the technical stuff about the gear and the recording process, but overall he's a more like creative person. He's a songwriter at heart. So what usually happens is we'll come in here and usually Allison and I will do most of the writing and
Mm.
we'll kind of come up with something and we'll come up with usually a lot of different ideas of songs and it'll be like
Variations.
verse,
Yeah.
chorus, like a couple different verses, couple different choruses for multiple songs, and we'll kind of show them to Jed and Rocky and see which ones they like the best, and then we'll just kind of refine it from there, and we'll kind of do a lot of the programming, like the texture stuff, atmospheric type stuff, and Allison will kind of get her melodies the way she wants them to. And then we'll go with Dave and we'll do a week with him where we dissect the song. And if anything needs to be changed, it'll be changing. Some of the songs don't change very much at all. And
sometimes they
sound
change.
sometimes
Yeah.
they sound completely different. And so it's what it ends up being what we think is best for the song. What I mean, what is a song? A song is the way we see it, at least the way I see it. I can't speak for anybody else, but you have a message and you're trying to convey this message and make the listener feel a certain way. And the instrumentation, the melody, all of that is the medium for conveying this message in a certain way. So ultimately, we want to create the best medium to deliver whatever it is we're trying to say in 3 or 4 minutes. So,
Yeah.
hey, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Kevin Jackson is our photographer. He goes to all of our shows with us and travels with us, and he's a good friend. So expanding on the idea of having a team, we've been fortunate enough to have a great team behind us. We're a pretty much DIY band. We do everything ourselves, but we do have people that help us. We have Dave, our producer. Kevin is our photographer. And I dabble in photography and videography as well, not extremely well, but Kevin kind of helps me with that. He's been doing it a lot longer than I have. Elliot and December are part of our video team, and when we do music videos, we'll kind of have a concept and they'll run with it. And again, it's like you have a song finished when you want to do a music video, and video is a visual representation of whatever you want both the listener and the viewer to feel for that time period. And they've been really, really good at helping us convey whatever message it is we're trying to convey. So definitely this band is not a 1 or 2 man show by any means, by any stretch of the imagination, because if it was just Allison and I doing everything, it would be complete shit. Yeah. And like, I don't just say that to,
well, I mean, I wouldn't say like I mean, we've evolved. I wouldn't say like our past stuff was god awful by any means, but we had a lot to learn. But we've come a long way from me trying to produce a music video and being like, hey, you do this, and I couldn't focus on one thing for having to focus on all of it. And when we finally found December, I was like, where have you been the last 5 years? Because like I needed you so bad, I'm just so thankful we found each other, because I say this all the time, but she's like the yin to my yang, to my creative side, and she gets what's inside my head. Like when she hears my lyrics, she knows what to do, and it's like a huge weight lifted off my shoulders. So
thank you very much, everybody, for sharing that.
yeah.
So my question is this: after listening and vibing on the video for Fireflies and listening to the single, thank you, by the way, for that.
Yeah.
What is the inspiration behind the video creation, and the single Fireflies? What is that song about?
Fireflies, if I could talk. Fireflies. It's a very personal song. Kind of about me fighting my demons, and more like an apology to the people I hurt while I was kind of not myself. And it was to all the people I hurt that I loved so much. And it's just like, I'm sorry for letting you guys down. And that song was like my apology to all of them. And uh so being that said, since it was so personal, we decided to just put me in it, which I don't really usually like, because I love having the guys back me up. I feel like when we're in our vibe, we all just jive well so together. And and like with any type of song, and with this one, it just felt different. December and I again were on the same page with it. I was like, so I had this thought, maybe it should just be me. I was like, I'm weird about that, but something's just telling me to just do it that way. And she was like, I was thinking the same thing. So we were kind of like seeing eye to eye on that. And she, like, again, she had this vision in her head that went along with it. We wanted it to be outside. We really like taking things that should be inside and putting them outside. If you've watched some more of our previous videos, and I think that all really started with The Ugly Truth, because we took like legit pretty furniture and just stuck it out in a field, and it worked. And so we kind of kept that concept going throughout the rest of the videos. But yes, she had the idea to put all the lights in the trees, and have them cutting in and out to make it look like fireflies. And she had the whole scene decked out with all those golds to make it match the lights, and it all just came together just beautifully. I feel like I remember filming the first go round, and there was actually a storm that came through, and we had to like cut our set short, and we had all those lights hanging in the trees, and we're just gonna leave them up. Our tent blew over. It got crazy, but we got a few shots, and if you watch that video, you can actually see the real lightning in the background. There's like a few shots of it, and that's before the storm hit. But the second go round, it didn't rain. All the lights still worked, even after a week in a storm. And it just turned out really, really pretty. And it's got a great ambient vibe to it. I mean, it's one of my favorites. You got anything to say about it?
No.
I'm trying to think of anything I forgot, that we didn't mention.
Well, because a lot of our songs are so introspective, I feel like this song and the first song off the new album, Leave a Light On, they're both more of like a dream sequence. The way it's filmed and edited, and the author of the song, the person conveying the message in the song, is kind of taking an inventory of where they're at right now as far as their mentally, I guess,
Right.
and emotionally. And so I feel like the visual representations of both of those music videos for being a dream sequence of sorts really kind of nailed the vibe of it.
Yeah. It's very dreamy,
Yeah.
ambient, almost like blurry in a way, but still, it's blurry, but it's still clear, if that makes sense. But to me, anyway, it's just got like that dreamy smoke effect, and I don't know. I I love it. Like I think December did great with the whole feel of the video. I really do.
Well, that's going to take us. Dreamy is right.
Yeah.
Dreamy is very, very right. I
Yeah.
know that when I hit play on YouTube and the video started, that was the sense that I went directly to that dream frame of mind. And
Right.
mission accomplished. Good job. So that leads us into creatures. What is the backstory to your awesome single creatures?
Creatures. I started creatures just I think playing with some loops on my computer because I have like a Mac and it's got GarageBand and all that, and I'll just make up some loops sometimes. And creatures kind of spouted from that. And at the time, I was thinking about how we all as humans have our animalistic ways, and sometimes the beast comes out and we have to control ourselves. And that's pretty much what it's about, is like ba- basically a fight with yourself, or like am I the creature, am I the one causing all this pain to everybody, and like realizing that, and and like I guess not fully trying to turn into that creature and trying to stop yourself before you become, if that makes sense. But yeah, like I love the guitar part in that song. Like I feel like it's what drives it, because the way it started off, it was completely different. It was very just, I guess, synthy, didn't really have really anything, and I was just pretty much going off a melody. And then we took the melody, and he took the melody and put his guitar to it, and it turned out, even I guess it even turned out different in the studio, because the lyrics and the melody ended up changing even from that. So that song had a huge evolution to it. So if you watch the video, you see the lady in black, and she's the one trying to get me and change me, kind of like what's the there's a show where it's kind of Evil Queen, I guess, Snow White
She's
ish
like a
kind of
ghoul.
vibe.
She's like a
Yeah.
ghoul.
Yeah. She's like a creature, like and she's the bad guy, and she's trying to take the good away, and the good's trying to fight the bad.
Thank you for sharing that, Alice. And that's exactly, yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So, John, who are your influences, guitar wise, music wise, songwriting wise? Who would you say your most where would you say your inspiration comes from? Because your stuff, your music is very powerful.
Well, I appreciate that. And I guess my influence constantly changes. But as far as guitar playing goes, I'm a really big fan of Clint Lowry and John Conley from Seven Dust. Those two are my um, two of my favorite guitarists, and Eddie and Tepe from Thrice, and Johnny from the Goo Goo Dolls. Um, Nirvana and the Goo Goo Dolls were the two bands that really made me want to play guitar when I was a lot younger. But as far as songwriting, I feel like I try to draw inspiration from, if just stuff that I hear that I think sounds cool. And when we were writing Leave a Light On and Creatures and Fireflies, I was listening to a lot of Architects and Bring Me the Horizon, and mostly the Bring Me the Horizon's Sempiternal album and Architects, Holy Hell, and For Those Who Wish to Exist albums. Those two are definitely top 10 of mine. And both of those songs have just a ton of stuff going on in the background. And so I've really tried to not focus less on guitar playing over the years, but I've really tried to focus more on being just a good songwriter. And part of that is learning how to create synth and piano parts, and learn how to arrange different instruments together. And so that's the thing that I've really tried to focus on, weaving a tapestry or painting of sorts. And if you want to visualize it that way, creating a song is you have a box, and the brush strokes, the colors, are all the different instruments and the different sounds. And you can create a painting with 2 colors or 1 color or whatever, or you can use as many colors as you want, but you want to create something that makes sense to you and that makes you feel a certain way as the writer. So I find inspiration in just a lot of different music, like Architects, Bring Me the Horizon, Goo Goo Dolls, and Thrice. Those are 2 of my favorite bands. Seven Dust. I also find a lot of inspiration in just art, because certain types of art, certain videos, certain photographs make me feel a certain way, and I want to create something musically that makes somebody else feel as cool as that made me feel in that moment. And I kind of see, like going back to the whole painting thing, I feel like I'm a very visual person. So when I listen to a song and I close my eyes, I can, I'm seeing different colors, and so I'm trying to convey music, which isn't a visual medium, but when I'm trying to put myself in the place of the listener and trying to feel how they would feel if they listen to something I create, I use a lot of abstract visual representation to do that. And that sounds really weird. And like I've had this conversation with a few different people, and people who are artists, they get it. But some people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? But I mean, yeah, that's kind of like the extra detailed answer to your question, I guess, as best as I can vocalize it or talk through it.
So,
Express.
Yeah.
what were you going to say, Allison?
I was trying to express himself, what he was trying to say.
Yeah, because I feel like spoken word is such a great thing, and language is such a great thing, but there are people in this world who can move millions through speech, and that's great. But I feel like when you add music videos, art in general, you add different visual and auditory representations to a certain message or to a certain emotion. It makes it that much more powerful if done correctly. There's people that create things that are not well received, and that's fine. If you're an artist and you want to create, like, by all means do that.
Yeah.
But the ultimate goal of being an artist to me is I get inspired because I feel a certain way about something, or something makes me feel a certain way, and I want to express that through something that we help create, and I want it to make them feel cool, or make them feel like they're on the, they can relate to something.
So they're not alone.
Yeah.
Like that. Oh, I'm feeling this way too. Somebody else is feeling the same way as me.
Yeah. So that's kind of the goal, as far as we're concerned, or as far as I'm concerned, at the very least, is just getting on the same level as the listener, or having the listener be on the same level that we're on for a brief period of time, and making them feel like, okay, I get it, and this is cool, Or
just making them feel better, or even when you write like a motivating song, like maybe this is going to get somebody through something, that they're going through, that's freaking, trying to break them down.
Well, big shout out to Princess Jen Hernandez. Thank you for being here. Kevin Torrent, Kevin Jackson. Thanks, everybody.
Talking about me, probably.
Eli Young. Yay, man. Thanks, everybody. Hey, I know that person right there. Ha, cool. Cool. So,
Titty Tugger.
Yeah.
There's somebody named Titty Tugger here. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah. My old buddy T Tugger. What's up, brother?
That's fucking awesome.
I don't even know what to say to that.
Man,
how you doing?
I could say so much right now.
How you doing, Kevin? It's Friday. So this would not be a complete live. Nothing like it. Gotta love it. Embrace it.
All day.
This would not be a complete Hanging with the Dreamer production if I didn't ask, what is the inspiration and what is the backstory to Roses Unread, the name of the band?
Every time I tell this story, I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble. because okay, I won't say it though, because he gets mad at me when I say the other. Anyway, so when we first started, we had another name, and I'm not going to say the name because he don't like it. You can see his face already. He's just like, no.
It's irrelevant at this point, but
we had to change our name, but it's just, I just never, like, sometimes it comes out and I'm like, oh, maybe, I shouldn't have, but anyway, we had to change the name, and, at the time I wouldn't say a big following, but, it was like, crap, we got to change our name because something happens. Like, we basically had the same name as another band, and they were like, we're going to take legal action if you don't change your name, blah, blah, blah. And so we changed the name to Roses Unread. And at the time I was like, I feel like we have a lot to offer. We've just got to get like the right team together. It's like, there's something beautiful in this. I just haven't found it yet. But, I just had this vision in my head, and I was almost like, it was like we were like a rose that hadn't fully blossomed, shown our true self, and like an unread book that, people are judging the cover by, because at the time, I wouldn't say we were judged, but I was like looked down on because we had a female at the band at the time. It was like we were just treated differently, I guess, than all the other musicians in our area. So that kind of inspired Roses Unread. I mean, in a nutshell, without going on forever and elaborating. But that's kind of where it stemmed from. Stemmed, huh? You get it? Rose stem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool. So, what's the songwriting process like for Roses Unread when you're in the studio and you're coming up with, the music that you hear in your head, right?
Right.
For the longest time, it was I would come up with something and we would kind of run with that. And here lately, I've really pushed Allison to be the creative spark of a new song, for lack of a better term. So she uses like Logic or whatever, and she'll find some loops or she'll write a piano part and just kind of write a melody around that. And then I'll try to write the rest of the stuff around that. Um, Usually just really rough. And then once we get something that we think has the potential to be really cool, we'll bring Rocky and Jed in and get them to help us refine it. And then we'll have studio time booked out, and we'll go to our producer in Memphis, Dave Cal, and we'll take him the demo that we create, and we'll kind of do a whole nother pre-production session, and then just kind of go from there. So there's multiple ways it happens, but it usually always starts with either Allison or I feeling inspired, or even if we're not inspired, we'll just kind of like grind through a bunch of stuff. Because like songwriting, and it's like anything else, it's like you have songwriting muscles, you have creative muscles, not physically, but you have to exercise those muscles. And a lot of people only write or they only create things when they're feeling inspired, and that's not the way to do it. I think a true artist, and I don't say that in a demeaning way, but a true artist feels compelled to create, to write, to do whatever they do at all times. And a lot of those things never see the light of day, but they just feel like their purpose is to create things. And then every now and then you stumble on something that's pretty cool and you can run with it. So like we're constantly trying to come up with stuff, constantly trying to rework old ideas that aren't quite there yet. And that's just the multiple songs just each song comes together a different way and has its own unique story.
Yeah. Said that well.
It really is a journey. It's speaking of a journey, John, you and I were talking about the importance of meditation. Would you like to share your experience with that?
Yeah. Well, I really, around 2019, 2020, when all the COVID stuff and all that, I think that kind of affected not only myself, but it affected the entire world in a mostly negative way. But what it did for me was it forced me to, and even leading up to that, like a couple of years leading up to that, it really forced me to be by myself because we were in lockdown for a while, and take a self inventory and kind of think like, what do I need to do to improve my life so I can improve the lives of people around me. And I had heard that meditation thing thrown around, and like I got into exercise and really, paying attention to what I eat. I got into that a few years before. So I was, going to the gym, and I was trying to be active and, um, eat relatively well. But I found out that meditation, or even not meditation specifically, but the act of being still and the act of being quiet and just existing for a brief period of time without constantly feeling like you have to go, 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 go and do this and do that and always be in a hurry. Doing that has really changed my life. And I'm one of these people that my mind is constantly on, I wouldn't say autopilot, but I constantly feel like I'm never caught up. Constantly feel like I have to do something. I can't, my mind constantly tells me that I'm a lazy piece of shit because I'm not working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And it's just physically impossible to do. But I just felt like I internalized a lot of that. And I was like, the reason, if I could get better and work harder, then this will improve. And in a lot of cases, that is true. But some things you just can't control. So I had to really take a step back, and I do a lot of quiet time, and it's really hard for me um, because I'm an extremely extroverted person, and I mean, you can ask Allison. Like
We both
like
are.
I feel like I'm pretty calm right now. Like I'm pretty composed when I'm speaking to people, but any spare moment I have, I always feel like I have to be doing something.
Me too.
And I always have to be doing something positive and not just like fucking off.
Yeah.
So there was a book, and it's not about meditation, but there's a book that I read, and I've reread it at least once a year for the past 2 or 3 years. It's called "Stillness is the Key" by Ryan Holiday, and the entire book is the premise of it is basically taking a step back, being quiet, being still, and making good decisions, thinking about where you're at right now and what you want the ultimate outcome of the situation to be. And that's something I really struggled with my entire life, is just existing for a few minutes and not putting my brain into overdrive, and just kind of um, thinking through the process of whatever it is. And like daily journaling and daily meditation has really helped me be a better artist, I feel like. And and I like to think that it's made me a lot easier to be around, because I can be a lot sometimes.
So can I, though.
Yeah, and I demand a lot out of myself, and I demand a lot out of the people around me, and I demand a lot out of my bandmates, because my thought process with that is not that I just don't want to overwork people and make people feel bad. It's that, okay, like we're only here on this earth for a short period of time. Like you have to leave this world a better place than you found it. So it's your duty. You owe the world your very best. And whenever you have free time, whenever you have the means to improve yourself and to do something good, it's your duty to do that. And that's still true. But I was very overbearing with that principle, both to myself and those around me, for years. And I think that slowing down a little bit, kind of enjoying the small details in life, and uh, actively trying to meditate for a few minutes a day kind of resets my brain where I can just enjoy life a little bit more.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. I really wanted to hear what you thought about that. Hey, here's Todd.
Hey,
Hey,
Todd.
What's up,
John.
Todd?
Allison. Hey, Thomies. Hey, Todd. I'm the Dreamer. Welcome to Hanging with the Dreamer. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the show.
Todd's one of our friends. He supports our Patreon and all that, and always follows me on Twitch and hangs out. Todd's a real cool guy. We love Todd.
Cool. Cool. So, when I kind of going back to the video for Fireflies, um, when I hit play, like I was saying earlier, that the beginning of the video just grabbed me, it grabbed me. Usually, it takes a video or a class or tutorial,
Yeah.
um, about 10-15 minutes to really get me. If but then again, if I'm really interested and I just kind of like what John was just talking about, and I want to learn, and because I'm trying to upgrade, I'm trying to make everything better. So
Right.
my mind's always thinking, okay, what can I change? What can I change? Um, Anywho, it, getting back to Fireflies, for everybody who's watching right now, real quick, I just have to say this. My name's Dreamer. This is my show, Hanging with the Dreamer. Please subscribe. The Dreamer's Life, smash that bell notification. I have some killer interviews lined up for the rest of the year. And I'm making YouTube shorts again every day. So stay tuned for some more great shorts, some more great information, including I'm going to be giving the video Fireflies from Roses Unread from my guests here today. I'm going to be giving that video my own 2 cents, my own review, and I'm going to do that in a YouTube short. So I better talk fast because I'm only going to have 15 seconds.
Yeah. YouTube Shorts is great.
Woo, 15 seconds. I don't know if I could do that.
You
I don't
know,
know. Maybe. But
I
depends on.
was editing a video for Allison today, and I'm like, I'm gonna make this one shorter
It wasn't
because
short.
she
Didn't
she
seem.
paints these pictures, and she paints these pictures. She takes drum heads that are used that have been used at shows and in the studio, and she paints on them and makes these really cool little things. And I say little, they're like, they're this
Yeah.
big. But I like filming videos and making like a little 1 minute little montage of her creating the thing. And it's good practice for like video editing too. But I was like, I think I'm just gonna make a short one today. I think I'm gonna make it like 30 seconds. Well, the son of a bitch ended up being like a minute and a half, and because there's just
I was
it's
like, I thought this is gonna be short. It
Yeah.
just keeps going on. I'm like, okay.
and I was like, well, there's just I
Got
don't
into
want to not include something because it's like you gotta, you've got like a process, and then
Yeah.
you've got like 4 different steps in the process if you break it down that way, and then you want to show each step and give each step its due time. And if you skip something, people are like, where did that green come from? You went from blue to
Yeah.
orange and there's green now, but I didn't see you putting the green on it. Did it just appear? So anyway, yeah. So good
That,
luck, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The YouTube Shorts is really cool, but I find it hard to convey a message in 30 seconds or less sometimes.
mhm. Well, don't feel too bad. I use a social site called Greatly Social. And what Greatly Social allows me to do is to schedule posts
Yeah,
up to a year in advance
Hmm.
so that I don't have to worry about it.
yeah,
I
Yeah.
could free my mind. I can focus on shorts. I could focus on reels. I go on Instagram. I could focus on playing. I can focus on other things, video work. So I'm really, really, really grateful about Greatly Social, and I highly recommend Greatly Social. Part of their when you schedule a post, you need to write a caption. That took me a little bit to wrap my head around that because I didn't really have a clear understanding of what a caption was, which is kind of funny because I can write a script. I can write um, a video dialogue. I can write a show format. Excuse me. But I did not know what a caption was,
yeah,
so
Yeah.
I had to stop. I had to rewind, and I had to look it up. And then when I finally figured it out, I found this one caption that I use in almost all of my posts that go on my show like page on Facebook, the like page Hanging with Dreamer. You'll see a post pop up and it'll say, all we want you to do is dream. So let's dream together.
Hmm.
That's my caption.
Yeah.
And it's powerful. So if I can do that, then I should be able. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I'll be able to do a 15-second YouTube short and break down very quickly how I feel personally when I watch the Roses Unread video for Fireflies.
yeah.
Um, I'm hoping I can do that because I'm
Good
really
luck.
hoping. May take more than one take, but I'm really hoping to do that. So that leads me to my next question. John, this is for you.
Okay.
What would you say is the most important trait and most important attribute to an artist, creator in general, that's going to make them a great creator?
So let's run off some assumptions here. Let's assume that this person is a creator and an artist and they're driven to create something because like you and I were talking earlier, there's people out there, there's a difference between people who are creative and people who actually create. I know a ton of people who have great ideas and who want to do things, but they just never get around to do it. So with that being said, um, we're assuming that this artist and this creator person that we're talking about has good ideas or has a drive to do something, whether it be music or photography or painting or whatever. Um, I would say the most important trait to have is to be able to start something and see it all the way through because for whatever reason, a lot of artists are bad about starting something and never finishing it, never getting it to a place where it can be fully appreciated, or it never gets seen because they start something and never finish it. And I think that's just a good trait to have as an individual. Um, Nothing drives me more insane than somebody who talks about doing something and never materializes it, anything close to what they say they're going to do. I know people that are like, I'm going to start this kind of band, or I'm going to start a podcast, or man, I'm going to write this song, or hey, I'm going to redo this, or I'm going to create this, and they never fucking do it. And again, like, I'm not trying to be demeaning when I say this, but I think the most important trait to have if you're going to be an artist and you want to get your vision out into the world, the most important thing you can do is to just do it, and start something, do the best you can with it, have fun, finish it, put it out there, and then move on to the next thing. And you rinse and repeat, and you do that, and you do that, and you do that, and you get better doing it. And like, some of the stuff you put out is going to suck. Some of the stuff you put out, people aren't going to understand, people aren't going to get, and people are going to hate it. You know what? Who cares?
Part of it.
It's part of it.
Part
Who
of it.
cares?
Can't be
So
scared.
yeah. When I'm talking to a young person who's just trying to get into something, and it's just, and like, I've talked to people who like at the gym or whatever, trying to get into fitness, who's trying to get into exercise, who is trying to get into going to school and furthering their education. Talk to people who want to play guitar, or want to start a band, or want to be an actor, whatever. And I'll tell them, like, man, you just got to do it. Like, you just got to get out of your head, because your own brain is your own worst enemy. If you let it be. And you just have to, like, showing up is half the battle. And what I mean by showing up is just putting the work in and doing it and finishing and whatever it is you're working on. I was bad about that for a long time, and I'm still bad about it from time to time. There's days that I don't feel like finishing a creative project, or there's days I feel like I just don't want to go to the gym, or there's days I feel like I don't want to go to the office and finish this project I'm working on, and there's days I don't want to get out of bed. And everybody feels that way, but like, whenever you force yourself to get in the zone and do something that you don't want to do in that moment, it builds mental fortitude, and it makes you a stronger person. And over time, you just get you get tougher mentally. You're able to push through the obstacles. You're able to push through you get to a point with something where you're like, I don't know how to move it forward. I don't know how to get to the next step. And over time, you get better about getting out of those ruts, moving something to the next step. And then you get better at doing what you're doing. The more you do something, the better you're going to be at it. I mean, like, everybody that picks up an instrument, everybody that starts drawing, everybody that starts doing something, like speaking. When you first started speaking and talking and communicating with people, you were not good at it, but you've gotten better at it over time. And I don't mean like you personally, I mean like everybody. And that's just how it is. Over time, humans adapt and they get better at the repetition makes you better at certain things. So I guess that's my answer, is the most important trait to have if you're going to be a creator is to be able to start something, follow through, and finish it, and be done with it, and say, here it is, and then do that with the next thing, and then do that with the next thing. And then before you know it, you'll have a whole montage of stuff that you've created that's unique, that's yours, and you can be proud of it. So that's it.
What happened?
I don't know. I guess it's the John and Allison show now.
What happened?
Um,
Hey guys.
So yeah, we're here hanging out.
What happened?
I don't know where Mr. Dreamer went. He'll be back, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
so funny story. When I went to go to the bathroom,
cool story.
No, I heard boom, and I was like, "What is that?"
It was the vacuum cleaner ran
took
into
down
some...
like 10 books, or 10 books, like some of your books, some of my books, like
Where?
the books you had on your desk. You had like 3 or 4 books on your desk.
Oh.
And then I had some books that like knocked them all on the floor.
Do I need to go pick them up?
No, I picked them up. And then there was like the road mic thing fell.
Oh, son of a bitch.
And then something else fell, and it had like taken your headphones and strung them all over the place. It had like caused major chaos and damage.
The vacuum cleaner's like having a small animal in the house. Sometimes it's like destructive.
I don't know what happened.
Anyway, who's in the chat? What do you guys want to talk about?
I don't know.
Is anybody in the chat still? Yeah, we got some people.
Got some people. I don't have no idea what happened. It was just like
Todd. I've never listened to Casket Robbery. I'm gonna go check them out after I get off here. So thanks for. I'm always down to check out like
talk about your hair.
Oh, what the fuck, my hair. I need a haircut.
Todd said he's here.
Yeah, so I always enjoy when people tell me. That's like, to me, that's like a love language of sorts, is when somebody sends me a band or a song or a picture or an artist that they think is really cool and they share that with me. I think that's really cool. So I try to always check out stuff that people have taken the time out of their day to share with me, especially if it's something that person has created. Like that's even cooler. So yeah. Are we on Facebook Live?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's like streaming to multiple platforms.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened though. I messaged him and asked him.
See, we used to have this problem, and we finally got good internet here at the studio / house, and it's been great. But
this has never happened.
Well,
there's a first time for everything,
I guess. So we've been on here almost an hour. So if you guys want to chat about anything,
or you guys can ask us something until we figure out what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
otherwise we can jump off.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's now the John and Allison show.
Yeah,
so.
I'm getting I bought a drone. So I'm getting, I think it's coming in tomorrow. So I'm going to be trying to get some cool drone footage and practice with that. I'm really, really excited about that. I've been doing a lot more videography lately.
He said he's rebooting.
Okay. Speaking of rebooting, last night I thought it'd be a great idea.
Oh, I left the Dr. Pepper in the freezer.
Yeah, you better go get that. Last night I upgraded my operating system on my studio computer, which is never a good idea. Don't ever do it. And the reason for that is because I got this color program, this color plugin that, there you are. I got this new coloring program that needed the latest version of OS X to run. So I spent an hour upgrading, and then like my audio interface wouldn't work. And like one of my monitors, the refresh rate on it wasn't.
It just exploded all over me. Hang on.
So
I had an accident.
I had to go back an operating system. Allison while you were gone, left a soda in the freezer and just remembered and went and got it out, and it exploded.
It's exploded.
So that's fucking cool. Not really, but it's kind of funny. But yeah.
Well, I would like to apologize for that signal drop.
Oh, it totally happens. I was saying before you came back, we had awful internet out here, and we just got fiber last year,
Yeah.
and it's been great. And I'm like, like my camera here, like I can do HD streaming through like my video camera that I use for like my photography and stuff, and I've got like an actual good microphone. So yeah, the fast internet, I feel like I've caught up to the 21st century now.
Fiber optics.
Yeah, so we got that, and at first it was like a gig up and down, and the ping was like 1 or 2 milliseconds, and I was like, this is insane, and it was too much. Like we weren't even using all of it. And so I backed it down. So we've got half a gig now. We pay a little bit less for it, but even Allison and I both can be gaming, or I can, she can be streaming and gaming, and I can be gaming or doing whatever, and using the Wi-Fi and everything, and like we can have multiple things going on at the same time, or I can be doing some work, and it's never been a problem. So yeah, it's been really a blessing to have access to good internet.
Absolutely.
I've waited years and years for it, and I feel like my life is significantly better because of it. In addition to like the meditation and the exercise and everything.
I'm gonna have to look into fiber optics and see.
It's great. I was
how
paying,
much that is.
so I'm paying, like we were paying like $80 a month for this like shitty radio
Had
signal
to get another one.
piece of garbage fucking internet, and then we got fiber optic, and I'm paying the same amount now for like half a gig up and down, and my ping is insane. Even back here, I'm not hardwired. I have a Wi-Fi extender in the studio, and I'm able to stream. Like sometimes we'll get on Twitch, and when we're writing a song, and I'll have like my Pro Tools screen shared so everybody can see what I'm doing, and I'll be tracking guitar parts, or she'll be like, there's a vocal booth right there. She'll be singing, and you can actually see the screen, like it recording and everything. And and it runs great. So it's been cool.
I would like to thank everybody who's still watching right now for hanging out. And I strongly suggest checking out the videos for fireflies, leave the light on, and check out Creatures, all by Roses Unread on YouTube. And follow Roses Unread. Check out all of their support links down the description box below, and check out all of their music. That's if you've never heard wrote the music of Roses Unread before, I'm gonna tell you this. Start with Fireflies. Close your eyes and listen. Because let me tell you, you're gonna be taken on a ride, and you better hold on, because everybody that knows the dreamer knows that I say this because I believe it. Music is magic, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm a believer, and I have faith that I live my life in faith with that. To that, check out the music and the videos of Roses Unread. Follow links down the description box. And before we end, Allison, John, are there any companies that you would like to give a shout out to?
Bare knuckle pickups make the best pickups for guitars in the entire world, and they're nice enough to have Jed and I on their roster. And Intune GP, Intune guitar picks make. We're sponsored by them, so we're artists through them, and so they hook us up with picks. So check out those two companies and Allison's Patreon.
Yeah. It's Roses Unread VOX Vox, so vocals.
Awesome.
Yeah, shout out to those guys.
Awesome.
Bare Knuckles all the way over in the UK, and I shipped them a CD a few years ago, and they were like, "This is cool, man. Like, we'd love to have you on board." So that's one of my favorite companies in the entire world. So definitely give those guys a shout out, and go give those guys some business if you're a guitar player or a bass player.
Sure.
And lastly, I love Bare Knuckle. I'm a big fan of the Bare Knuckle Rebel Yell pickup.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You know, I'm a big fan of that pickup. I have a stack of guitars here that need some new pickups.
Well, you know where to go.
Yeah, that's right.
They're
Bare Knuckle.
expensive. They're
Yeah.
expensive. Don't get me wrong, but they're all hand wired and they're all
No.
they're great. I've got 4 different sets of their pickups in 4 of my guitars, and they're just they make they make the guitar sound the way it's meant to sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I can put it.
Yeah.
They really bring out a lot of me as a player because they're so articulate, they're
Yeah.
so clear,
Yeah.
and they're not muddy. They respond well to how you play them, so they really force me to be a better guitar player and a better songwriter. And those guys have supported us for the last 5 or 6 years now.
Mm.
And yeah, I can't say any more great things about them.
I'd love to have them on the show sometime, because I really do love their pickups.
For sure.
And lastly, I ask this of all my guests. Do you have any questions for me?
Just want to say thank you for taking time out of your day and having us on your show. It means a lot to us.
Yeah, definitely.
We're big fans of yours, so it was an honor to come join you on your show for an hour or so.
And I thank you for your time, and I thank you for your kindness. And talk about it with Allison. Talk about it with the rest of the band. I'd love to have you back.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll be back.
Thank you. And very quickly, again, and I can't stress this enough, everybody. If you've never heard the music of Roses Unread, I strongly recommend that you check it out. You're a true music lover, and if you love to feel the song, and if music moves you as much as it moves me, please, by all means, go to YouTube, put in Roses Unread, pull up Fireflies, pull up Creatures, pull up Leave the Light On, and get ready. Roses Unread, everybody. Thank you very much. Support. Check out the support links down the description box below. And be sure to check out my production support links through PayPal, the Friends and Family option, and my brand new Patreon, in which I'm still building. It's a slow crawl, but I'll get there. Thanks, everybody.
We'll see
Thanks,
you later.
John.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Allison. Thank you, everybody in the chat. You've been watching Hanging with the Dreamer, featuring John and Allison from Roses Unread. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
An all new episode of Hanging with the Dreamer every Monday at 12 noon. Available wherever you stream.